Hey guys, this is Primeval. Welcome back to part 19 of my huge Earth map Deity series as the Celts. Now, let's go and take stock at what's happening again. So, York and Edinburgh are now connected. York must have a harbor. Let's have another look. Another look at what we captured when we were successful in taking York. So 4 wonders, yes, that's excellent. Public schools, universities, and banks, markets. We are going to want to, once we have the happiness to spare, I'm going to want to annex these strong cities. One, that'll let us reassign the citizens to work the science slots, make great scientist points, and also up our science. But also, puppets have a minus 25% modifier, so we get a 25% boost to our science on top of focusing our citizens on science. And we really need to be focusing on science now. So this guy's going to be in resistance for another 7 turns, so we don't have to worry about that for now. Let's see, we're getting close to public schools. We're 6 turns off there. We have a few spies who we sent out recently. They're still establishing surveillance, so we can see if Mecca and Seoul were good choices for doing textiles at. Huns have adopted autocracy. Our open borders with Germany has ended, which is okay, since they no longer, well, we're not really sailing off to the east anymore, and they lost Cologne a while back. Broadway's already gone. If we go look at tech, we are now 12% behind the tech leader, which is Brazil, so we really need to get our happiness in order, get our population up, and get all those public schools down. Now we do have the gold to buy public schools, so at least we're not behind on that. And Canterbury here can be our personal little aphid. We can milk England's trade routes for gold on a regular basis, it would seem. Let's see, where is this guy headed off? It looks like she has wised up and has stopped sending out new cargo ships. But maybe she's on a certain timer. I don't think she'll refuse to send out cargo ships. It's definitely a good choice for her to keep on sending cargo ships. Assuming there's not some jerk with a frigate waiting to pillage all of those. Alright, now these workers don't really have anything to do. We could go and put a mine on that hill, or how close are we to fertilizer? Probably not going to pick that up right away. Let's see, so after scientific theory, it'll be a rush over towards plastics, which... well, bit of lag. Which does not require us hitting fertilizer or even chemistry. I will want to hit chemistry, so we'll go, if only for the improved mine production. So scientific theory into chemistry, and then we'll run over to plastics for the research labs. We have... well, we can keep this missionary in York, that'll be fine. And do I want to try a religious spread to London? Yes, actually that might work. Last time it said we'd only get 4 converts, but we'll see if that's changed. What if I heal here? Meanwhile, we did promise the Songhai, I believe, that we'd go to war with France, and so with that in mind, I sold them some luxuries to bribe them into a war. I was hoping to get France into a war with Spain, or Rome, or Austria, or even the Netherlands, but the only deal that they could stomach was to go to war with Denmark, which is better than nothing. This will cause some more tensions in the area. So, in order to get them into a war, we did sell them 2 luxuries, which is why we're unhappy right now. We did denounce them on that same turn, which is a little suspicious. So what I want to do is get my ships into position to protect Amsterdam before I declare war on them. So we'll get all of the ships with range to sail around here. But we will leave a few ships in the Irish Sea as well, just in case someone else coming from this direction decides to declare war on us. So all of these guys will sail around. The healing ships, this will be our Irish Sea contingent. Meanwhile, to protect Amsterdam, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frigates, so that seems reasonable to me. Meanwhile here, we're still getting intel on Brazil and the rest of South America. And with this frigate, let's just park him on top of the crabs. Speaking of crabs, we should go get another workboat online. Now, do I want to build that or buy it? I do have plenty of gold. If I were to build that manually, that's 4 turns. Let's just buy a workboat here. And we'll fortify there. Have the ship of the lines guard the crab. And that seems like where we want to be. I think on the turn transition last time around, we did promise the Aztecs we would go to war with the Shoshone, so we should go and declare or denounce them at some point. Now, Shaka wants to declare war on the Arabians. Let's see, where the Zulu are ahead of us on score here. Where does Arabia line up? They are at the bottom. Arabia is currently hostile to us. They're friends with Sweden. Sweden is the only person I wouldn't want to upset by denouncing them or even going to war with them. Although I think we have promised ourselves into a few too many wars here. So we'll decline that. Alright, not your average doorstop, Jacob 23, S. Genolol. Welcome to the chat, all of you. Jacob 23 asks how the morning is in Toronto today. We've got an excellent sunlit sky. It's not the clearest blue I've ever seen, but it still looks like a good morning. Thanks for asking. Attila has declared war on Poland. The great musician here is still wandering around. And over on YouTube, let's bring up the comments. Poland is denouncing us, really. People are still upset that about our long-standing war with England. Very well. Norpan83 says, the reason I probably can't make a great work of writing is because all of the available great works have been taken by other civs. That's definitely a downside to playing with 43 other civs, is apparently you can't, there's a limit to the number of great works you can actually spawn. And I've heard this before, so I'm very much inclined to believe that to be the reason. Meanwhile, Brazil is hostile and denouncing us. They're probably gearing up for a declaration of war. Which, I mean, they're a little far. Ooh, Washington's also declaring war on us. We were friends at some point. Now they're guarded. Perhaps the AI is not too pleased with the fact that I've been keeping Canterbury as my personal gold factory. I think. Whoa. We still need to deal with this longbowman. Okay, so we'll send some of these ships around to deal with that. And I think this turn is when we're going to have to declare war on France. Looks like they've withdrawn a lot of their troops anyways. We'll declare war, knock down this knight, and then deal with this longbowman. I also want to see if Elizabeth has managed to set up a second city somewhere else. Canterbury is her capital, so I doubt she has any other cities. This is definitely an exile's capital. It's got one fish, and by the looks of it, one snowy hill, and that's it for relevant tiles. As general, my plan for winning is the science victory, and nothing else on this map is going to be practical. And so we want to get our house in order, get happy, get growing, and get our public schools up. We'll probably get that to coincide within grabbing scientific theory. Alright, so we'll move this privateer out of the way. This guy does not have range. We'll set him up over, say, here. This guy does have range. We'll get set up over here. It's really nice that since we now have the Great Lighthouse, we have that extra movement on our frigates. Let's park over here. And bring the Great Admiral into range. You can fortify there. Alright, so it is time for us to go to war with France, and we will want to be denouncing the Shoshone at some point. Bombard here. Swap out with this privateer. Into the city, bombard. And yeah, you just guard this crab. And we'll get these crabs set up, and then we'll want to sell luxuries as well. So we'll do all of that before we declare war, in case that sours some people to friendly diplomatic relations to us. I don't think it actually upgrades, updates, except in between turns, but I could be wrong about that. So we will save the Dow towards the end of our turn after we take care of all the diplomatic stuff. Now, S General wants to take a look at the demographics. We can definitely have a look at that. We're going to go get that worker working on the hill. We'll need to hide this missionary away from this longbowman. And this missionary can pop over to London. Let's see. That's only 4 citizens. We are at 4 citizens now. So that's not really going to help us. I mean, I don't have anywhere where using the spread would be more useful. So let's do a spread here anyways. 750 terrorism. At least that'll get us closer to flipping one more citizen, I suppose. Alright, so now for the demographic screen. We are still 12% behind the tech leader. And we're doing okay on manufactured goods, okay on crop yield, and we're close to the average at any rate. We've totally wrecked England, and most of these values are close to the average. So we're still in the running, although I would be more comfortable if we had public schools up already. Now, Not Your Average Doorstop asks how many unmet civs do I have. Let's take a look at the victory progress. I definitely haven't met Japan or Indonesia yet. And yes, there are only 2 unmet civs, so it's Japan and Indonesia, and then the World Congress will form. Okay, so let's start that war. Paris. Oh wait, we wanted to do the luxury swap. So the one really nice thing about the enhanced user interface is it lets you know who has which luxuries available. So preferably, I'd like to do a crab for Oh no, someone else has gotten into selling crab. Is that what this is all about? So I bought that workboat for nothing. Now we have... Oh wait, no, we already sold our crab, and so that gets us closer to happiness. Okay, so is there anyone who will swap the truffles for a luxury? Doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, so Attila has excess salt and jade, and is interested in our truffles, but will he do a one-for-one swap? Let's see. Salt. Unacceptable. Okay, so Attila's not happy with us. Is there anyone who is happy with us? Well, I guess more importantly, do we have any friends? Because the lump sum gold is superior to the gold per turn. Let's see, where are we on this chart? We are somewhere we're in the upper half of the chart, so that's good to know. In fact, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are 10th out of 40 odd civs. There were a few that might have been eliminated. Venice was definitely eliminated. But at any rate, we're not currently friends with anyone. Is there anyone who is remotely neutral, Austria, friendly? Oh yes, and that's right, we did promise them to go to war, so let's see if we can trade. Is there anything that... Gold for truffles, okay. Yeah, that definitely works. Excellent. Alright, so we're happy again, and that means we're not in a rush to declare war on France. Although I really should. All our troops are in position. Let's do that. Alright, so Paris, declare war. We get all of our luxuries back. So now we're at +7 happiness. Speaking of which, when I was raising Hastings, that interrupted the Circus Maximus at Edinburgh, so I should put that back in the queue. 8 turns. And we do have the excess gold, we are happy. Let's buy the aqueduct. Aqueducts save food, so it's best to buy or purchase them at 40%, but I don't think I'm worried about microing the upkeep, so I better buy this now before I forget, and it will get me the tiniest bit of free food here, which is better than nothing. It saves, it's going to shave off a turn on the next bit of growth. So happiness buildings here, and then we'll get ready to purchase all of our public schools. Okay, so we are at war. Let's show Napoleon that we're serious. And yeah, that privateer can park there. Alright, so Elizabeth hasn't sent out cargo ships yet. I guess we can explore over towards Canada a little. And we do want to denounce the Shoshone at some point, because I think we have maybe 7 turns left before our promise to the Aztecs to declare war. So we don't want to declare war on them without the denouncement. That'll definitely be a diplomatic faux pas, and could lead to the mass Dow that I'm really worried about. Hey Massive Effects, welcome to the stream. Apparently we might have excess crab here. We do, but I'd rather swap it for a luxury at this stage, since I think I'm going to need the happiness soon. Massive Effects, welcome to the stream. Taming of Spyro. This is not domination only. All victory types, except for time, are enabled. Actually, I'm not sure if I disabled time. I hope I did disable time. But in any case, the AI is bound to win something before the time victory gets us. Mass Effects wants me to hover over North America to see what religion's there. We can definitely do that. I'm pretty sure the North Americans have their own religion, but yes, if we could get somewhere else first with a religion, that would be really good. Swap embassies, sure. We want to get some more friendship going here. Alright, so on the huge map, we are still limited. The max number of religions was 7. Crab for coal. I will eventually want coal, but I would prefer to wait on that just a little and see if we can get a better deal for the crab elsewhere. So, with 7 religions, but with so many cities, if you could find a spot far away from anyone else's competing religion, that would leave you a lot of free time, the opportunity to spread your religion very easily. That's sort of what happened with us. We were able to establish a relatively strong base for Tengrism, but over time Spain did manage to push their Catholicism in, and now York is Catholic. We are hoping to do something about that eventually. We do have more pressure for Tengrism, so hopefully we'll be able to flip that at some point. Jacob23 wants us to bring a missionary over to Australia, which we do anticipate to be covered with barbarians, and we could get a lot of heathen conversion going there. I think most of the barbarians there will be very antiquated, will have hand axes and brutes, and none of the fancy, say, riflemen that might actually be worthwhile. But we should definitely try sailing one of our missionaries over somewhere to have some fun. The thing is, a distant army of barbarians isn't going to be doing too much for us. I think I'd rather have a few missionaries at home just in case we happen to go extremely unhappy and then the missionaries can convert our rebels. Call me happy. The English haven't burned yet. We have removed them from the United Kingdom, but we're purposely leaving Canterbury around because Canterbury is kicking out cargo ships fairly regularly, and that's a very nice boost to our gold coffers. Right, and we do need to take care of this longbowman. It should be dead this turn. Okay, Korea is fighting against Kamehameha. Let's share that intel. And the Arabians are plotting against the Romans. Spread that around. And Korea is building a naval fleet, presumably for Kamehameha. Okay, so Korea, the turn time there is a little long, and Mecca 17 turns. That's not great either. We could move this guy to Brazil, and let's have a look at score. Maybe Ethiopia. Let's move this guy. Have a look at demographics. We'll move him to Shoshone. Maybe Vienna. Alright, let's drop into Vienna here. And then let's have a look at... Tech leader is Brazil. They probably have a spy, they probably have a constabulary. But I think it is worth a try to see how long the textile would take us. With our most veteran unit here, let's drop into Rio. And people were curious about, oh yeah, North America is relatively devoid of religion. Okay, so there is some pressure here. I mean, the Americans are relatively religionless. If we spawned a Great Prophet is for, we could purchase a Great Prophet, let's see. A Great Prophet would cost us how much? I mean, religion is fun, and we are getting some benefit off of that 22 gold per turn from tithe. But I think at this stage I need to be saving my faith for great scientist purchases. Well, great profit is only 500. That might pay for itself in gold. Could have him sail across, convert a bunch of these American cities. There are other religions there, but it looks like the eastern seaboard here is devoid of religion. So something to consider. I think I really need to hang on to my faith for the great scientist purchases, and perhaps the great engineer purchases as well. And we're going to fuel those purchases off of eventually completing the piety tree. So we didn't go liberty or tradition. No tradition means no great engineer purchases, but if we complete the piety tree, wait, adopting all policies in the piety tree causes a great profit to appear. Alright, so I think I'm thinking of something else then. That means if we want to do anything with faith, we're going to have to unlock rationalism. For some reason I was thinking if we unlocked piety we could also buy the other great people, but that's something that I'm making up. So if we want to do anything useful with the faith, we're going to have to completely unlock rationalism, which means we really need to get our culture per turn up as well, which is going to be a little tricky. I do have the gold to start fighting over cultural city-states. Let's see which city-states I could possibly do with that. And we have spotted one of Brazil's cargo ships. They did denounce us. They are hostile, so we'll follow that cargo ship around and pillage it as punishment should they decide to declare war on us. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking of. It's a Reformation belief. Is it? Oh yeah, it's a Reformation belief. So we took heathen conversion instead of the buy whatever great person we want. Which means we are going to have to unlock something else instead. Okay, there's the mine. And we'll bombard, get rid of the last English unit on our soil. And this missionary, do I want to keep him around or do I want to try to flip York a little more rapidly? Well, let's at least see how many followers we would convert. Well, first of all, we've got... cancel that. In London, we have... unselect. What's my religious status in London? Well, we would convert one citizen if we used our missionary spread in London, whereas in York, we would convert 3 citizens, currently 2. Alright, we'll just keep these missionaries around for future rebellion conversions. And here we've got range. Do I want to get targeting 2 or supply? Let's grab targeting 2 and then eventually over to the logistics equivalent. And we should have shot the cannon instead of the knight there. We should be able to finish him off with this other frigate. But definitely want to prioritize hitting units that could deal us damage and not other less relevant units. And with this missionary, we'll just hang out beside Edinburgh and sleep there. Alright, choose production in Reykjavik here. Let's get to work on a lighthouse. And actually, since we have the gold and the happiness, we should buy the lighthouse and buy our way over to the fish tiles. Let's see, 70. Buy that. Buy a lighthouse. And reassign these citizens. So let's reset tiles. do I want to buy my way over to this other fish? Yes, I would. Now the problem is I need to save up money for all of the public schools, so I can't go too crazy here. We'll build out our own aqueduct. Right, so that'll be fine. And Master Effects, yes, I would like to grab these trade routes. I'm not going to do that right away, since Napoleon still has a decent army. But we are happy enough that annexing Amsterdam might make good sense for us here. And then we could buy a unit there. Do we have any horses? We don't. Alright, let's annex Amsterdam right now. Annexing Amsterdam would add 5 unhappiness. Alright, let's annex the city. We go from 16.5 to 19.95 science per turn. We could start working on a courthouse as well. And does that throw off my Circus Maximus? That's something that I should have checked before I did the whole annex. Circus Maximus requires Colosseums in all cities, is that right? And so that's going to delay my Circus Maximus by another 3 turns. Alright, so we'll have to be a little more cautious with that the next time around. Alright, so these guys are growing nicely. Dublin should also... Dublin has a lighthouse, so we want to get this guy growing as well. Default focus is fine. In fact, let's take a break from working the university slots and work all of that food. More rapid growth there. And Edinburgh, since we are happy, we want to rearrange these tiles as well. We set tiles for maximum food and science. That seems good. Now as for Amsterdam, yeah, let's definitely go work those university slots. We're not in a rush to grow Amsterdam because it doesn't really have... I mean, it's got a lot of good food tiles, so I will also go to default focus. Let's see. That seems reasonable. Colosseum still in 3, growth in 9. Alright. So this is where we'll end episode 19. Those of you in the stream, don't worry. We'll be running with episode 20 as soon as the turn rolls over.